started their claim, you need to have all 4 open. All right, who would like to start? Pick up your pencils, please. Oh, before we I'm sorry. If you have trouble with people's initials, first and last names, they're on Google Classroom. Your class list is there. Everybody except for George and Alyssa, although I think you're finally on this one, right, Alyssa? Okay. So everybody's names are listed there. So I'm concerned about you, Timothy, because you're kind of new here. Do you know everybody's last names? So you need to pull that up. If anyone else struggles with that, you want to pull that up too. So you can see names. Classmates, great. There, although it's partly covered up, for you people that have your back to the board, in case you forget what all the symbols are, it's written there, except it's sort of covered up. So if you want to use that, you might want to uncover it on that table. It's sort of covered up. So if you want to use that, maybe you want to uncover it. Yes, sir.
So as the person's talking, you write their initials and
Yep.
and they used to plus say they had a counterclaim, and then you just like write that in the row.
You'd write negative.
Alright.
You're gonna use the codes to shorten your hand.
So you just like write it, so it'd be plus, and then you write a counterclaim like this for the minus, like right next to each other.
Go down, because it's gonna bounce. So this conversation goes CRE, and okay, so you started it with a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be RJ question mark CRE, RJ question mark CRA, RJ question mark.
So it's between the two people?
That's what we're happening now, but then it's gonna be all of us. I'll model it when we start.
How do we do like the legal question?
If someone pulls someone else into a conversation, write their initials with a star. Who's starting?
Why not?
Go for it.
My claim is that I think we should continue genetic engineering only if it would benefit us, but with extreme caution, because our lack of knowledge in this field. The first reason why I think this is because we should continue genetic engineering, because then later we could cure uncurable diseases. And my evidence is, according to the Genes and Identity article, we can use genetic technology to help cure uncurable diseases.
So just to be clear, I don't want people like reading their paper verbatim in order. Someone needs to jump in and engage with George, like a natural conversation. Maybe you want to repeat that.
All right. My first reason.
No, start with your claim.
My claim? Just all of it all again?
Yeah.
My claim is that we can continue genetic engineering only if it would benefit us, but with extreme caution because of our lack of knowledge in this field.
Yeah, it's proven that it's not proven, but there are some things that you could get that it's possible. It's not proven, but it's possible. So I think we should take caution if they do it.
Because I don't think there's like enough evidence to know for sure. So I think we can use it on humans, but not like we have to take caution because we don't know enough about it.
Are you guys getting the idea? Okay, I'm gonna
What's
stop.
that /A?
A negative and an addition. I just put him in the same. I could have done a KG. So
GLE is George. Let me take an example.
Or
what is
his last name?
There's
no evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, no. You got
It does not matter. It really doesn't what you think it is. It could be in your perspective. All right. What was the last thing said?
Cody was.
Cody?
Toby.
Can you repeat it, please, and then we'll go from there.
I don't think that, or we should take caution with it, but I do think we should use genetic engineering on humans with caution.
Like what? Like be more specific. Like in what ways should we be more cautious? Are there some things that we should be more cautious in?
Anyone can answer this. Otherwise, we're going to get a conversation with these two. Time to play. Let's go.
Just be more cautious how you use it because we don't know the long-term effects yet. So don't do anything like that could change too much about something.
Yeah, we don't know the long term, so it could do something really bad.
You two need to speak up.
I feel like we should do it too because like we could do something that we can't change, and like because we don't know much about it, like it could be as a negative effect.
I think we should do it because doing this could give crops more resistance.
Oh, pause. So you jumped. But I don't think we're done with talking about humans. Can you contribute with the human thing? I need evidence for Roland's claim. So you want to repeat what you last said?
I think that we shouldn't because like we could be doing something like that we permanently like do like we don't know much about it. Like we end up doing something that we can't reverse.
End up doing something that we can't reverse.
I agree
Well,
with
that's
that.
what-
Yeah.
That's why you test it.
We have tested it.
That's why you experiment with it.
We have.
We don't know anything about it.
We do know things about it. What do we know? You don't need to include me in these conversations. I'm just trying to get you to support what you're saying by looking at your articles and your evidence.
I think that it shouldn't be allowed on humans, like Rowan said, because yeah, we don't know enough about it, and it wouldn't be fair to anyone because like if you use genetic engineering on a human to have them like have better abilities, it wouldn't be fair to someone who works hard for those abilities.
Yeah, I agree with that, but like I don't agree with like when they use it to like to get an advantage like we talked about yesterday, but like I agree with it like if you use it to like use like to like give like immunity to things.
If it would benefit the person using it health wise, then I think that it should be allowed. But if it's just to like make them stronger or faster, then I don't know if that should be allowed.
Make sure your voice doesn't trail off at the end. You gotta have good, solid talking voice so that the microphone picks it up. Our classmates that are missing, and probably Isabel will be looking at these videos, trying to follow along and keep track of our claims. I'm still waiting for evidence about the we don't know. But we have done studies. What do we know?
It is illegal.
What is it?
Genetically engineering is illegal because we don't know about it yet. And there's 2 guys that did it and they went to jail because they did that. But also nothing has been proven to like prove that it's dangerous either.
But there hasn't been anything proven that it's 100% okay.
Go to your genes and identity article. What dangerous thing did they realize that could prove Roland's claim?
For babies or for just gene doping?
A study.
It's very expensive.
A study on mice that could prove Roland's claim that we don't know how it could affect us. Because of unforeseen consequences. Something showing up that they didn't expect.
And make them immune to antibiotics.
think you're talking about the GMO article with
It
plants.
has sensitivity to pain.
Talk about that study. Where is that? Can you help people
On
locate
the
it?
last paragraph, it's above references and recommended reading. The second paragraph above that. The sentence says modifying this gene in mice greatly improved learning and memory, but it also caused increased sensitivity to pain, which is obviously not a desirable trait.
So increasing sensitivity to pain means that they have more pain.
So it could be worse if you're trying to cure the disease. If you're trying to do it to cure the disease, it could be worse for them. Because if they deal with pain, then
if the technology is benefiting them for one thing, but then turning around and not, then like making something worse.
kind of like taking a positive for a negative.
Keep going along that string. Positives and negatives. Are there more positives or more negatives?
Well, a positive would be like the
Speak up, please.
well, the positive would be like the antibiotics, but like the negative, like Aaliyah said, would be like the sensitivity to pain.
Okay, but the antibiotic resistance is in the other article that's talking about plants and us ingesting plants, not about us modifying our genes. So what would be good about modifying our genes? Parker said something about that.
Be a better athlete.
You could be a better athlete.
You could also, if you had like a health condition that wasn't like benefiting you, it could solve that for you. So it's good in some cases, but in others it's not great.
Can anyone give an example? Some of you need to jump in and play. Come on. This conversation's being dominated by 4 people.
I agree with you, Leah, because one of my friends was genetic engineering should be allowed on humans only if they need it to live with a health condition. Like, if someone has, like, autism or something like that with genetic engineering, it could be cured and they could live a normal life.
But the other thing is, if it has pain to it, then it could be even worse. Because if you're doing that to cure a disease, then if you also have pain, there's really no reason to do it. If you have pain but you're curing the disease.
And to be clear, Parker, that's just one example in mice. But it points out that we don't know what other traits it could have an effect on, negative or positive. Because sometimes genes control more than one trait.
It could be like if you do one thing that's good, there'd always be like a negative outcome of the thing because you don't know like what you're talking about or like what you're doing. So you don't know what that negative outcome would be, but it sounds like there's going to be a negative outcome of a good effect.
And I feel like if people are doing something to enhance their genes or modify them, that they have done research and they know what the outcome will be, and they have.
But still, there are no proven. There's no proven facts about it.
How are you gonna know the outcome if you don't try it?
Yeah.
Speak loud.
So you have to test
How do you,
it.
if you don't try.
But like if you had to try like, I don't think many people would want to be like well you'd have to do it on babies, so
Yeah,
you'd have to be able to like pass laws to be able to like
yeah, you wouldn't have
have babies to try it, but that's
Yeah,
I think that's wrong.
You can't
because they don't have a choice.
You can't change the DNA without or once you're like alive and whatnot. So like you wouldn't have like the consent to.
Yeah, you don't have the baby won't have a consent to like.
Well, that's why you do it on humans.
Yeah, but how do you?
The older ones.
You never know when
But
a
you
person
can't do
has
it
a
to someone who's
disease.
alive.
You
Yes.
never, like when they're babies, and that's the only time you can change it. You never know, like, with the person if they have the disease that is
like,
curable. So you're just doing it just to
well,
do
for
it.
people who have sickle cell anemia, some people are carriers, and some people, when they have babies, like that person will have the sickle cell anemia.
Under testing for traits unrelated to disease, the last part of that paragraph is a highlighted word, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. So with in vitro fertilization, so that's where they can fertilize an egg and it starts to grow, it starts to replicate cells. At that point, they can go in and test those cells. They can test the genes to diagnose for genetic diseases before it gets implanted into the womb of an organism, whether it be an animal or human.
So I wonder if you could, like, if it had any of those genes, or disease genes, I guess, I wonder if you just wouldn't want to implant it back to be born.
That's the thing. When people go for these tests, they pick the best looking one with no genetic problems.
So let's say someone has cancer and like it's really bad and they're probably gonna die anyways. Why don't they just go in and research the genetic engineering?
But you can't change it once they're alive. Yeah, that's already kind of set in stone.
You can.
Yeah, that's like where we're going with technology and stuff. Is that probably?
But how would you do that? Like
Stem cells. Did we talk about that in the class?
I think so.
We don't. Yeah, and it's very little because, like you said, this is where we're going. This is why we're having these conversations. Yeah. So consider it. It is a possibility to change it as an adult. But not inheritable traits. Potentially.
Yeah,
you have to change the sex stuff.
You would have to know like if they're gonna like inherit it before you change it. So like for like the time being now, only way you'd be able to change it is if you knew that they were gonna have it.
What's an example of something of a genetic modification through genetic engineering that would be beneficial to humans? Like resistance.
Like the babies that were they were resistant to HIV and like prevent coronavirus or like the flu. I don't think we've made a total resistance to flu yet. Like for the HIV, like yeah, there's something out there to prevent that.
You have less than 15 minutes for 9 of you to participate more. If you haven't said something, you need to get on the ball. Do you want to change the conversation?
Yeah.
But you said
Michael,
something.
I haven't heard from
I'm
you.
waiting to hear from people. What did you say, Parker?
Michael, I haven't heard from you.
Okay. Are you wanting a star?
Yes.
Ask him to contribute something.
Michael, can you contribute something to the conversation?
No. Did you just say no?
So as you've been hearing me talk about this, what are your beliefs on like what we're talking about, like with
what are
like
your
the
thoughts
modifying?
and opinions?
Yeah. Because you went ahead and wrote some down on your paper about your thoughts. What'd you write on your paper?
I think that human engineering could be dangerous.
Why do you think that?
Because
What, Michael?
human engineering can be dangerous because people could take over it and they're gonna die.
Did you think the same thing, Mason? About like it could be dangerous?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think it'd be dangerous?
Because if the outcome were to be negative, could you change it back?
Tyrese, what do you think about it?
It's not.
I don't think we should do genetically modified genes because you can like mess up the genes or create something bad, like to make your genes like create like a disease or something.
Let's change the claim.
Brady, do you have a different claim?
I don't think it should be allowed on humans because the humans, like in sporting events, they might have an advantage against other people, and they might not have wanted to be gened
So you're against gene doping
on humans.
on humans. So you would allow it on animals?
I
Would
also
people
agree.
be allowed to use that for fair?
But
I don't think
for
that
showing?
they should be allowed to like use it for like competing with the animals, but
Yes,
like
they
use it for experimenting with them.
yeah, like
because they don't have a choice. They're animals.
I mean, if it's
But-
like a cow or something, it's gonna get
You
ate
can get
anyways.
in trouble for that. Can't you?
No, you
No,
can't.
not for like
Before
cow.
you,
think
when
you
you
can.
birth them or when you breed them, you can't get in trouble for it.
yeah,
Let's
but like
change the
if you
claim.
alright. Does anyone have a different claim?
We were moving into animals, and that's a good segue. So let's talk about genetically modified organisms other than such as crops and herds.
I think we need to keep GMOs because they're helpful.
In what way?
Speak up, Lily.
How are they helpful?
Because they're cheaper for farmers to grow. And
It provides
because
food
they
for
say, because
countries. But it
You
also
get more
gives
food because
like the GMOs. Well, plants are resistant to like diseases, which means you can get more food. But it can also cause allergic reactions. in
Yeah,
certain
like-
cases. But there's no evidence that
Yeah, there's no.
You should. I feel
Yeah,
like you should.
there's
I feel like you should use it to like make it grow better, but not like how like it tastes or how well it grows, but like to like
What if
like
that has
herbicides and
like a
stuff like that.
harmful effect on you though?
Yeah, like that. GMO shouldn't be even used for like harmful effects, but like to grow better. So, like I would think some people might be allergic to it, but
Well, I think if they're allergic to it, it's just because they're like allergic to something that's in it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. In the More Food, Cleaner Food article,
So that's not really on GMOs for that because it's
No.
their body and they're just
Yeah,
allergic
so-
to that.
so yeah.
Toby, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts? I think they should only use GMOs if it's either protecting the food or I don't think they need to use it just to add nutritional value or something. And if they do, they gotta make sure that nutritional value is healthy and it won't cause bad things to happen.
But also it can cause cancer. This thing causes cancer.
Yeah.
But
And
there's
it
no
can
proof
prove
that
that
causes
there's
there's no
no
proof that
it
causes
can
harm.
or it's possible.
It can contribute to development of cancer because this disease is caused by mutations in DNA. And it is dangerous to introduce new genes into the body.
I don't think that there's enough research to prove that those are right. So
Michael, do you have anything to add? No? You don't have anything to add?
Parker.
Genetic engineering could improve how humans work.
Do you mean genetically engineering humans or genetically engineering the food we eat?
Yeah, so we're talking about food right now.
Yeah, we already touched on it.
What are your thoughts on modifying food for human consumption?
Might be healthier.
Okay. Does anyone have evidence for that? Did you write any evidence
I
down?
have evidence.
Yeah.
In pros and cons, under the pro section, 4 paragraphs down, it says genetically modification can also increase nutritional value or enhance flavor.
But do you think we should use GMOs to enhance flavor or like because the flavor matters? Because that could be like harmful to us.
Yeah, I think if we use stuff that wasn't, I think we use stuff just to enhance the flavor, it's kind of like taking a positive for a negative again.
Yeah.
It's that thing.
Because we don't know what negative things are coming out. Just like
Yeah, it's like I don't think we should risked making so it tastes better for us as people, for maybe ended up giving us diseases.
Yeah, but it also is better for the environment because with all that resistance and all that.
Yeah, but does that change the flavor or does it just make it grow better?
I think
it makes it grow better.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of benefits to GMOs.
You're missing a lot.
One of those is that it helps with hunger and nutrition, and it helps with the health and environment.
Yeah.
And there's no evidence of risk, so we can't really say that these are bad.
Yeah, I feel like GMOs to grow more food would be important because, like, at one point we're gonna run out of room on the Earth if we don't like move to another planet, and we're gonna need like more food to support the population.
Yeah, I think GMOs are good for like the way how we produce food and how fast it produces. But I think we should be able to make like how fast it produces the same, but keep it so like we don't make it so it tastes better. Like we can go and get oranges, like it'll say GMO, but like is it making it taste better? Or is it making it grow better?
Lance, can you speak up and give your addition or evidence?
I think that the GMOs would give like more food for like America because plants are resistant to diseases, which means because of the GMOs, which means that we could have more food and that like bugs and stuff can like kill our crops.
I have an example of that in the text in pros and cons under pros, the second paragraph. The reasoning usually involves making crops more resistant to disease as they grow, so that's why they do GMOs.
Yeah, so they're just using it to make it grow better.
So
And protect it.
Like
you guys
protect
have
from
less than 10
herbicides,
minutes. I need to
pesticides.
hear from some more of you.
With GMOs, you could take like a big red apple and combine it with a shiny red apple, and you get a big and shiny red apple. So it's like better food.
But is there a difference? Like,
Will it taste different?
Yeah.
Just make it
Bigger
bigger
and
and shiny,
shiny.
but it's not gonna taste any
How do
good.
you
It's not
know
gonna
it's gonna be
taste
bigger and
good.
shinier?
Because you genetically modify it.
It honestly,
Yeah,
it
might
honestly
be
be
bigger
cheaper
and
if we just
shinier,
grew it.
but will it taste better?
Maybe.
But does it taste? Does
No,
making
but
it?
there'll be more of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making more of it, but making it taste better. Does that
Is
really
it
even matter?
healthier? Is it good
No,
for
it's
you?
not.
But like,
It's
Well, there's
if,
more of it.
if
Add more
adding
GMOs,
GMOs
so
was like
How
it
do
could
you
be
know
more
it's
fast.
not healthy?
Yeah.
How do you know?
No, it's not.
if
I'm
you're
not saying I do, but I'm saying you can get a big shiny red apple.
Well, apples are healthy, and if
If
there's
you're-
more of that
Yeah.
apple,
if you happen to
more
like
apples,
more
Store you
apples.
were
Healthier
shopping.
for you.
What
and
is
you
the
saw-
trait you're genetically modifying for? If the trait you're genetically modifying for is to produce more vitamin A and to have a certain chemical like sugar that tastes good, yeah, you can control those traits through genetic modification. So yeah, more delicious apples and more apples and shinier apples. We can control all those traits. Is that a good thing? Does the good outweigh the bad? This is where we're going. So of all the benefits and all the potential negative consequences,
But it could have a lot of good benefits, but just one bad benefit that could trump all the good ones. Well, like one bad
what's a bad benefit?
feature.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
There's
But like,
none
I'm
that
just
we
saying.
know about.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
about it
We
yet.
haven't even discovered all the good and bad yet.
So like we
Then
could
what
end
is
up
a bad benefit?
So then there could be
We
bad
don't know yet.
benefits.
There's some things
Well,
we
let's
don't
just
know.
say the bad benefit is it's harmful to you.
How do you know it's harmful?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what if the benefit or the,
But we have no evidence of that.
Yes.
that's why I'm
But it's
saying
still
what
possible
So,
just because we don't have
as of
evidence.
right
Need to
now-
There
prove
is
it,
no
though.
way.
There is no
As of
way.
right now, the
There's no
goods outweigh the bads. In my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. But if the apple tastes good, but it's bad for you,
How do you know it's bad for you?
I'm just saying.
Maybe scientists will do
what
this
if we
in the
were to
future.
see
what if
an
we're
increase in
managed?
cancer rates?
Yeah, long term.
Well, we
Then
couldn't
they'd have to
we couldn't
prove
for
that
sure
it's-
connect it to the
Yeah.
apple though.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be the air pollution or something like that.
Maybe the world's just getting unlucky and getting cancer.
So, in this article, what does the American Cancer Society say?
They say that there is no evidence for this. However, they note that no evidence of harm is not the same as proof of safety, and that reaching a conclusion will require more research.
So
So scientists and researchers and people who want to like try GMOs or do GMOs, they need more research in order to come up with a claim about if it's harmful or not harmful. So you can't prove anybody right or wrong.
How long have we had GMOs?
Since 1990, is it?
And speak up a little bit. Can you say that again?
Since 1990, I think.
And how much food produced are GMOs?
Can it feed the world's population of GMOs?
Yeah, what do you do if you grew non-GMO stuff and it just died and it didn't produce enough?
So you shouldn't.
What are you
I think.
gonna do?
Well, you still use the GMOs, but you make them just grow better. You don't use them for anything else.
How do you make it grow better?
Yeah,
But why would you grow them if we're not going to consume them?
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
the whole point.
Because if you just
Don't shut down. Back it up. Back it up.
Some plants are more for display. They could be genetically engineered to look more appealing than being eaten like flowers.
I feel like that would be okay, but like if it was to happen to have a bad risk, then and like for one you consume that wouldn't be good. But I feel like it's perfectly okay.
Evidence. How many acres are GMO?
98 million.
And so 98 million, and those are consumable. So there's 98 million acres, and we took out GMOs. We made it illegal for GMOs.
Take a lot of food.
And people it would be world hunger.
Yeah, even if it was like even if it did have bad health benefits, it would still be taken away. So then, if there was no bad benefits, then everyone would die anyways.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we could make a GMO with like no bad benefits if we knew what the outcome of it was.
But we don't know.
Yeah, but like there's a what if. There's a what if.
Yeah.
You have to test it.
So what do we do?
Trial and
You
error.
just keep doing it.
Trial and error. You just keep doing it.
You just
The
don't stop.
more we do it, the more
figure it
research
out.
we get.
Yeah, like the longer we do it, because like it could be a long-term effect. So the longer we do it, like or technology we get, we can backtrack and like retrace where it comes from, so we know what not to do in the future.
Do you have anything to add? Okay, we're gonna stop there. Thank you. What is your opinion on how that went?
Like the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I think more needs
Much
to
I don't think it was good.
Oh.
Yeah, more people need to contribute.
No, it's not
Well,
that.
there were main
It's
people that
this.
were contributing. I think there was like the
There's a couple
certain main
This
people
was
that were
confusing.
just
I wish we could have just had a conversation.
I
It
know.
would have been much
Same
more lively
people
if we
kept on
just
saying,
didn't have this because you have to
Yeah.
multitask.
Yeah, I
really
really
wanna
want to
be that
without
way.
doing
I
that.
like this. Good. Okay. And honestly, this is a. It is meant to confuse you in terms of multitasking because this is life. If you can do this and that and this and this and this, like, yeah, you're gonna be faced with that. You have to know how to do this. You're gonna need to show evidence. Sorry to fluff all your papers. You're gonna have to show evidence of your finds. You're gonna have to track things, and you're gonna have to be able to communicate with people on issues that you have researched. And you need to know where to find this information. You have to be able to convince people and persuade people. You have to know what you're talking about. Like, this is all in preparation. So, yeah, can you put your chair down, please? Cody, you can stop the recording. I don't think it went horrible. Like, how many times have you